Today, we're diving into a really interesting new frontier in finance, one where artificial intelligence isn't just a tool for the big Wall Street firms anymore. We're going to break down an app that claims it can put a powerful AI trading strategist right in your pocket.
And that's the big question, right? The one on everyone's mind. Markets move so incredibly fast these days. Can AI really help you cut through all that noise and give you a genuine advantage? Well, that's what we're here to find out.
All right, so here it is. This is the Stock AI Analyzer. And at its core, it's powered by what they call the Gemini strategy engine. The app calls itself Next-Gen Market Intelligence, which, sounds impressive. But what does that actually mean in practice? Let's dig in and see.
So here's the game plan for today's explainer. First, we'll try to understand what this Next-Gen Market Intel is all about. Then, we're going to run our very first analysis. From there, we'll look at the AI's final verdict, we'll decode the brain behind it all, and then finally, we'll see how you can practice with all this information in the simulator.
Okay, first things first. Let's run an analysis. I want to show you how this app takes something as simple as a company name and transforms it into a full AI-driven strategy. The whole process is meant to be super straightforward.
Everything kicks off right here with this one search bar. It's pretty smart. You can type in a ticker symbol like NVDA, or you can just type out the full company name, say Apple Inc., and it'll figure it out. Once you've got your company, you just hit Analyze and the AI gets to work.
Now, when you see this processing animation, just know there's a lot going on behind the curtain. This isn't just a loading screen. The Gemini AI is actually acting like its own autonomous researcher. It's actively scanning live data sources in real time. We're talking SEC filings, financial news, all of it, to build a complete up-to-the-minute picture of that company.
So after all that heavy lifting in the background, the app presents its findings. And the key here is that it's not just dumping a mountain of raw data on you. The whole point is to deliver a clear, strategic verdict that you can understand and act on right away.
And boom, here's what it spits out for NVIDIA. You can see it split into two main parts. Over on the left, under Gemini Insights, you get the agent verdict. It's a quick, plain English summary of what the AI found, with a very clear buy recommendation. Then, on the right, you have the strategic action plan, which takes that verdict and turns it into specific, concrete numbers.
Let's zoom in on that big number in the action plan, 92% conviction. Now, this isn't some arbitrary score. It actually represents the AI's confidence in its own recommendation. It's based on how many of its different analytical models are all pointing in the same direction. So a score as high as 92%, that tells you there's a very strong agreement across all its internal data points.
And this is what's really crucial. The AI doesn't just say, buy and leave you hanging. It gives you a complete plan. As you can see in this table, you get a target price, that's the AI's projected goal. You get a stop price, which acts as a safety net to protect your virtual capital. And you even get a pullback price, which suggests an ideal entry point if the market happens to dip a bit.
So that's the what. But the really interesting question is, how does the AI actually come up with this verdict? Let's go under the hood for a minute and decode the 6 core pillars that make up its analytical brain.
Okay, think of it like this. The AI has a committee of 6 different experts, and each one specializes in a very specific area. You've got machine learning, technicals, market sentiment, and so on. The real magic happens when the AI synthesizes their different viewpoints. By weighing the input from all 6, it can form a much more robust and coherent strategy than any single analysis could ever provide. So let's break down each one.
First up, we have the machine learning forecast. This is basically the crystal ball of the operation. It uses predictive modeling to analyze the stock's price history from the last 30 days, combines that with its current momentum, and then forecasts the most likely trend for the next 7 days. As you can see for NVIDIA, it's predicting an uptrend.
And that 95% confidence score? Well, here's where that comes from. It's all about pattern matching. The model is seeing how strongly the current price action matches historical breakout patterns that, in the past, have led to a big upward move. Next, the AI tries to read the room with its market sentiment analysis. It uses something called natural language processing, or NLP, to literally read and score headlines from financial news sources like MarketBeat and Seeking Alpha. It gives each one a score, basically trying to figure out if the overall buzz around the stock is positive or negative.
Now, these next 2 pillars are all about a classic trading mantra: follow the smart money. The AI digs through public filings to see what the big players are doing. We're talking about large hedge funds and even the company's own executives, the people who should know the most. Are they buying or are they selling?
And this chart for NVIDIA shows something fascinating, a classic conflict that the AI has to sort out. On one hand, you see institutions have a 75% positive conviction, meaning the big funds are buying up shares. But on the other hand, insiders have a negative conviction, meaning some executives have been selling. The AI's job is to weigh these conflicting signals to make its final call.
All right, then we have the company's financial health checkup. You can think of this pillar as its annual physical. The AI analyzes all the fundamental data, things like the PE ratio, earnings per share growth, and compares them to other companies in the same industry. It's trying to answer, is this company fundamentally strong and is it fairly valued? For NVIDIA, it scored a nearly perfect 99 out of 100.
And the last piece of the puzzle is technical indicators. This is pure, hardcore data analysis. The app calculates key trading signals right on your device. It's looking at the same classic tools that professional traders use to analyze charts, things that track short-term trends, measure shifts in momentum, and identify patterns that could signal a price reversal is coming.
Okay, so the AI has done all this work and given you a detailed plan. So what's next? Well, you don't just have to take its word for it. The app actually includes a virtual trading environment so you can test these AI-generated strategies without risking a single real dollar. And this is what that looks like in practice. This is your trading journal and portfolio. Whenever you execute one of the AI's plans, it gets logged right here in a simulated portfolio using virtual money. You can track your overall balance, your profit and loss, and even your win rate over time. It's a completely safe space to learn and experiment.
So the real key takeaway here is education. This is your sandbox. It's a totally risk-free training ground. All the data is stored locally right on your device, and it even uses a live price simulation to give you a feel for real market volatility. It really is the perfect place to see how these AI strategies might play out in the real world.
And finally, we have to end on this because it is absolutely critical. The app itself gives you a very clear warning. It says this is an experimental tool for educational purposes only. It is not professional financial advice, and you should always do your own independent research before making any real investment decisions.
Which brings us right back to our big question. You know, tools like this are putting incredibly sophisticated analysis into the hands of everyday people. So, is this the future of financial analysis? That's a big thought and something for you to consider.